Which star is it? Tom DeLuise, Karen Valentine, Vincent Price, Suzanne Bichette, Burt Reynolds, Carl Reiner, Wally Cox, Hope Lang, or Paul Lynde, all in the Hollywood Squares. And here is the master of the Hollywood Squares, Peter Marshall.
Thank you, Kenny, and a very good evening. Welcome to the Hollywood Squares. Hello, stars.
Here.
Welcome once again, everyone. Welcome. Opponents of fluoridated water argued that too much fluorine in a person's system can cause an uncontrollable desire for sex.
Hey, Colligan man!
Paul Lynde.
With Paul Lynde, he's breaking up already. Say, in literature, what is it that writes and having writ moves on?
A meter maid. The hand of fate.
I'll disagree.
The moving finger. You disagree. Put an X there. Secret Square, around the world, Pontiac Firebird. Where is it?
Oh, that's
Mr. Paul Lynde, please.
To Paul Lynde. What should you call the group of dancers in a ballet?
Silly savages. the corps de ballet.
Corps de ballet, that's right, that's correct.
Yes, that's right. Yes, put a circle there. Okay, Pat?
Yes, I think Paul Lynde Block.
In what state was Abraham Lincoln born?
In what state?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like all of us, naked and screaming.
Paul, you got a 43 on the laugh meter. That means you win the trip around the world.
Illinois.
I agree.
Kentucky. X does not get the square. We'd give you 3 in a row. The third one you must earn yourself. Several ways to win it. Take a look.
I didn't know that.
Paul Lynde to win.
All righty. Why was Daniel thrown into the den of lions?
For jaywalking in Jerusalem.
Must have been working at Metro.
For trying to overthrow Herod.
I disagree with you.
Because he refused to worship pagan gods. X gets the square. $300 for Chuck Boyle. Gets that square. Judy, you're looking for $300.
Yes, I am. Paul Lynde.
All righty. The famous short story, The Gold Bug, was written by what famous author?
It's gotta be Charles de Gaulle. I think the scary guy, Edgar Allan Poe.
I'll disagree.
He's right. X gets the square.
Oh.
Break for you, Chuck.
Connie Stevens.
Who played Anne Margaret's father in the film Bye Bye Birdie?
Oh, dear. I remember him very well. Dick Van Dyke.
You got a laugh?
Yes,
Let's see.
I disagree.
You know who it was? Take a guess.
Not Dick Van Dyke.
No, it wasn't. Good. It was Paul Lynde. Paul also starred in the Broadway production with Dick Van Dyke, Sheeta Rivera, Dick Gaudier.
And Margaret's mother?
Father! Abby, I'm gonna... Abby Dalton. I can't take you anyplace. All right, Judy. Paul, if you cook chunks of onions, tomatoes, peppers, and lamb all together on a long stick, what would you call it?
I heard that, but it's Omar Sharif.
You would have Omar Sharif? Well
I
done.
hear the ingredients again. Don't help me.
Yes, onions, tomatoes or tomatoes, wherever you're from. Peppers, lamb all together on a long stick. What would you call it?
That's shish kebab.
I agree with
A shish kebab. Circle gets to I must caution the audience not to yell out the answers here, right?
Paul Lynde block.
You're standing on your big gun and hanging 5 while you look for a dumper. What are you up to?
Go.
I think that's that killer sport surfing, I think.
You're correct.
It's
I'll
a
agree
killer
with you.
spurt. Yes, put the hit circle right there.
Joey Bishop.
Joey Bishop.
Paul Lynde.
All righty. Paul, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle all lived in what city?
Athens.
I agree.
X gets the square, and we'll be back with more of the Hollywood Squares. All righty. How many men on a hockey team?
About half.
And that's including the puck.
Paul?
6.
I agree with you.
You, sir, have an X and $600. Very good.
Thank you.
I'll have to go to Paul Lynde, the block.
Paul Lynde block from left to right. The staff of life has been with us for ages. What is the staff of life?
Yogurt. No, I think it's the staff of life is bread.
I agree with you.
He is correct. Put the circle there. Right.
Charlie Weaver.
Paul Lynde. Hi, Paul. In the old childhood chant, when you sing Lady Bird, Lady Bird, fly away home, why should she go?
Because Lyndon wants his chili. I think the house is on fire.
I'll agree.
He's right. Put an X there. So that's Paul Lynde block from left to right. The newest best-selling album by this top star is entitled To Russell, My Brother, Whom I Slept With. Who's the recording star?
Little baby Rosemary.
Oh, shut up.
I never slept with my brother. I think that's Davy Jones, one of the monkeys.
I'm going to disagree.
Bill Cosby. Put a circle there. She disagreed. Good story. John?
Bill Bixby.
Lynn.
Who is required to be kind, obedient, cheerful, and clean?
Idiots. May I hear that again?
Yeah. Required to be kind, obedient, cheerful, and clean. Who is?
Boy Scouts.
That's right. Reverend Thrifty, too.
Plus helpful, brave, courteous, and loyal. You forgot those. Put a circle there. John?
You have to be prepared.
Paul Lynde, please.
Paul? If you were a Knight of the Sun, a Grand Inspector, Inquisitor Commander, or a Sovereign Grand Inspector General, to what organization would you belong?
The Luxembourg National Guard. I think those strange fellows, the odd fellows.
I agree.
The Mystic Knights of the Sea, the Masons, a marvelous organization. You agreed he was wrong. X gets the square.
Charlie Weaver.
Paul Lynde. If someone was dressed in soup and fish, what would they be wearing? Soup and fish.
Friday's supper. I think that's a weave like a herringbone.
I'll have to agree.
White tie and tails. Putting on the top hat. X gets the square. Josh?
Charlie Weaver again.
Boy, that's fast. These flip the coin backstage. You'll start the game. Good luck to both of you, and pick a star, Judy.
I have a hunch. Mr. Paul Lynde, please.
No, but we'll go to the Paul Lynde questions here and find out. If you were awarded a BEE at college, what would you specialize in?
I'd be a honeymaker. I think I ought to be an economist, economics.
I disagree.
Electrical engineering.
Oh, well, I'm glad I wasn't there.
John? Let's try Lauren Green, all right? Hi there, Lauren.
Hasn't had a chance to play yet.
Paul Lynde has a chance to play right now, and this is for $600. In the Mother Goose rhyme, Goosey Goosey Gander, the goose wandered into his lady's chamber where he met a man. What did the goose do to him?
He peopled him.
He manned him.
Now, Abby, control yourself. Or contain yourself.
Would you run that once?
Sure. In the Mother Goose rhyme, I love to do beautiful phrases like that. Goosey Goosey Gander, the goose wandered into his lady's chamber where he met a man. What did the goose do to him?
Frightened him.
I disagree.
Why?
He threw him down the stairs. $600, John Kemper. Very good.
And Paul Lynde to block.
Paul Lynde, so we'll go to the Paul Lynde questions here and see what we come up with. What is the green-eyed monster?
Jealousy.
Zsa Zsa, dear, I'm sorry, I have to destroy the
I am so sorry, too.
I know. Well, that's all right, dear. Once in a while, we blurt these things out. That does happen. We'll just get rid of this question and go with
Was it
another.
right?
Yes, jealousy is the green-eyed monster. Big, tall fella. You can't miss him.
Sorry.
Okay, Paul, listen. It's very important right now. Very important. The Quiet Man was one of John Wayne's few non-Western pictures. Where did the film take place?
A public library. It took place in Ireland.
The Quiet Man?
Yes.
Place in Ireland. I'm going to disagree with that.
Here the moans again. In Ireland, X does not get the square. Would give you 3 in a row. The third, and you must earn yourself. Zsa Zsa, don't be
I
upset.
never done that in my life.
That's all right, dear.
She always says
Listen.
that. I never done it in my life.
Now, don't you be upset.
You know what's real funny about that?
What is
Zsa Zsa yelled out jealousy, thinking that it was a comedy line.
Well, I know that.
She thought it was funny. She didn't know it. You know what I mean?
John, you are looking for $900 here.
She didn't know she was.
And to win?
For $250, Paul, at a recent party, Liz Taylor had 1,000 little diamonds and 25 large ones decorating a part of her body. Which part?
Her chin. 25
large diamonds and 1,000 little diamonds decorating one part of her body.
What was on the other one?
I don't know.
I'll say, let's see, 25. 1,000.
1,000 little ones.
Little ones.
And
I was gonna
25
say,
large
it's either
diamonds decorating
either a
one.
belt or a choker. I'll go for a choker.
A choker.
I agree.
Nope.
Nope.
Her head. They were in her hair. And she sparkled and glowed. We have an X there for Charlie McClain.
I'll go.
Paul, here's one on personality traits, okay? Here's one on personality traits. Is a person who sits with one leg over the arm of a chair likely to be cooperative or uncooperative?
Is this person a man or a woman?
It doesn't state, really, Paul. I guess man or woman, but if a person is sitting there with one leg over the arm of the chair, is he or she likely to be cooperative or uncooperative?
I would say that's a very relaxed position, very cooperative.
Cooperative.
I disagree.
No, it's uncooperative, Paul, and we have the circle. You disagreed, and it is your turn, Charlie. Before Virginia Graham was a talk show hostess, what did she do for a living?
She was a pilgrim. Now, I'm going to go with something we found out on the daytime, I think it was, Hollywood Squares. She was a newspaper lady, a reporter.
I agree.
I'll get an answer from Virginia. Is that true?
In part. Yes.
We can accept that?
I went to bed with the print.
Is that it? All right, we'll accept that, and we'll put a circle right there. Charlie, go right ahead. There.
Paul Lynde.
Paul, according to Ava Gabor, I don't believe in them. They're unnatural. What doesn't Ava Gabor believe in?
Raquel Welch.
That means time is up, but we have to complete the question. Now, what does Ava Gabor not believe in? She doesn't believe in something. What is it?
It just period. No, in regard to no one. There's something she doesn't believe in.
Right.
I don't think she believes in overnight success.
Overnight success.
I disagree.
No, it's bras, which is kind of an overnight success.
Bras?
We can accept that. We have a circle, and that means the time is up. Go right ahead.
Paul Lynde.
Henry Kissinger recently was quoted as saying, "They aren't even sexy." What was he referring to?
The Joint Chiefs of Staff.
And he was right.
They aren't even sexy.
Yeah, that's what he was quoted as saying recently, Henry Kissinger.
Sexy. I'll say topless dancers.
True.
True.
I agree.
No, the starlets he dates. The starlets, and
They'll be glad to hear that.
they'll be thrilled to get this right there. Jill St. John, if you know, she's not a starlet, she's a star. We have a circle there, and Sharon, it's your turn. For this game, Vance, good luck on the show. You'll start it off.
I'll take Paul Lynde.
According to baby doctors, when a baby bangs his head against her or his crib, it is generally just before doing something else. What?
Numeral uno.
Bangs his head against the crib. This generally is the sign that he's going to, he does this usually right before he does something else. What?
I would say start to cry for attention.
I agree.
No, going to sleep. It's his pleasurable way of going to sleep.
Yes, that helps.
That's why you think it's easy being a parent? With a circle, Sharon.
Vanderbilt.
Many Americans, Paul, many American magazines recently pictured Queen Elizabeth stepping ashore in Bangkok onto a carpet made of what?
40% Dacron.
Was it under Niagara Falls?
What country?
Bangkok, yes, onto a carpet made of...
Bangkok, they have so many flowers. I'll say flowers.
I agree.
Flowers. Very good, Paul. With an X. Sharon, here's some cash. You'll start the round.
Paul Lynde, please.
When the citizens of China want a drink of water, they always do something to it first. What?
Remove the shirts. Well, I know that I just read this the other day that the Nixon party, that all the water will be boiled. So I think it must be true of the rest of them.
I agree.
That is it. They boil it. With the next, Sharon, your turn. Go right ahead. For $250. Richard Burton said recently that he gets up and does it every morning for 2 or 3 hours while Elizabeth is still sleeping. What does he do?
He surprises her.
No, but Richard Burton did say recently that he gets up and does it every morning for 2 or 3 hours while Elizabeth is still sleeping. What does he do?
Takes a nap. I would say since he's off the juice, probably, I would say jogging, some kind of exercise.
Exercise.
I'll agree with that.
No, he writes his memoirs like, once upon a time, I met this lady. No, we put a circle there, back in it. True or false? It is illegal in certain parts of Georgia for chickens to cross roads.
Well, in the case of Georgia versus Kakalaki. It's true.
It's true.
I agree.
It is true. Yeah. Wow. Right? No, it's not. In the Bible, who was Naomi's faithful companion?
Tonto.
Naomi's faithful companion in the Bible.
Faithful companion in the Bible. Naomi's. Abraham.
I'll agree.
Ruth. What a circle, Gladys. Go right ahead. Oh. According to Queen Elizabeth of England, there is something in the air near Windsor Castle which makes it unbearable for her to take tea in the castle garden. What is it?
A flock of naughty pigeons. Something in the air.
Yeah.
Something in the air that makes it impossible. Probably a shedding of leaves.
I'll agree.
No, the sound of planes. Windsor is on the main flight approach to the London airport. With the next.
Channel 8.
Raquel Welch recently stated, it's a carnival atmosphere, but I can understand its popularity. It's a batchy, sweaty, funky life, but I enjoyed it. What is it?
A choir girl. You know, it must have been her movie experience with roller skating.
I agree.
That's it, the roller derby, and an extra there. Betsy,
Lynde,
break for you.
Paul Lynde, please.
According to an official at Buckingham Palace, Queen Elizabeth is seriously thinking of letting her son, Prince Charles, do something very important. What is that?
It's either her hair or Queen Juliana. Do something very important.
Yeah. She's considering it.
Considering it. To take over before, which is, you know, usually the death. I think to take over before she actually...
To become king.
I agree.
She is considering abdicating in favor of her son by 1977, her silver jubilee. Very good, Paul. Two circles. Francis, your turn. Wizard of Oz. The Tin Man wanted a heart, and the Lion wanted courage. What did the Straw Man want?
He wanted the Tin Man to notice him. The Tin Man wanted a heart. Mm-hmm. And what did you say? The
Tin Man wanted a heart, the Lion wanted courage.
courage.
Yeah, the Straw Man. What did he want?
The Straw Man. Oh, boy. Straw Man. Heart. The Straw Man wanted to be able to cry.
To be able to cry.
I disagree.
No, he wanted a brain.
Yeah.
For the next. And Betsy, it's your turn.
Wally Cox.
Paul Lynde, please.
If the skin around your gold wedding band has turned dark, it probably means your system has a great deal of something. What?
Bigotry. It probably means you have a high acidity, an acidity.
I agree.
That's right. A good start with the next. Betsy, go right ahead.
Mel Brooks.
Mel. President Nixon revealed recently, Paul, that he always keeps one of these in his desk drawer because it is symbolic of his favorite sport. What is it?
Oh, a ski.
Long drawer, eh?
No, I think they put an alley in for him. Was it for him? They're bowling people. I'll say a bowling ball.
A bowling ball.
I disagree.
No, it's a football. Mm-hmm. What's the next? Betty?
Carl Reiner.
Good luck here. According to French chef Julia Child, how much is a pinch?
$5?
But according to French chef Julia Child, how much is a pinch?
Now stick with me. It's just enough to turn her on.
How much is a pinch?
A pinch is just enough that you can get between a thumb and your index finger.
I'll agree.
No, it's a half teaspoon.
Oh, well, who cares?
We can't put an X there, Lee. Well, no, you pick a star.
Paul Lynde to win.
Paul Lynde to win $500. Paul, according to psychologists, do most people think people who have good suntans also have a lot of money?
Well, I know Flip Wilson's rich.
Too much.
Suntans and money.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Well, I know that you have to be, well, of course, a lot of, at unemployment, the tannest people are unemployed. You have time to go into the sun. I will disagree. I'll say no.
No.
I agree with you.
No, it's yes. My kids are both tan and they're both busted. So we can't, yes, we can put a circle there. So a break for Betty Smith. We'll pause for this commercial.
No, it's...
Paul, the first one in this country was set up a little over 100 years ago. And it was shaped like an hourglass. Today they have lines across them and are shaped like a rectangle. What are they?
Oh, boy. Real fast again.
The first one in this country was set up a little over 100 years ago, and it was shaped like an hourglass. Today they have lines across them, are shaped like a rectangle. What are they?
That's true.
The weather report. I mean, the barometer.
I disagree.
Tennis courts. And the number of new courts is booming. And we have an X. And Betty, your turn.
Buddy Hackett.
Buddy Hackett to block.
Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde to win $250. When a bullfighter retires, it's traditional to have a ceremony where something of his is removed. What?
His ears.
No, that's the bull, unfortunately.
Yeah. I would say his cue, the hair braid.
The pigtail.
I agree.
That's right. Very good. The hair in the back. And you have $250, Verone. True or false? Nylon is stronger than steel.
But steel panties don't turn me on. Nylon is powerful. I'll say it is.
I agree.
Nylon rope, for instance, is about 50% stronger than steel cable of the same thickness. Interesting. With an X, you're on the board. Verone, sequence square game. Go right ahead, dear. For $250. True or false? The Niagara Falls were once located 7 miles away from where they are today.
Yes, and it's a tribute to beacons.
They'll like the plug, I'll tell you.
Yes, it is true. They are eroding that fast.
I agree.
And they are moving steadily upstream. Yes, $250. Congratulations, Denver. We're going to hurriedly clear the board here.
Paul Lynde.
Lucille Ball received something small and gray from her hubby on her last birthday. What was it?
Small and gray. Our last birthday.
Lucille Ball received something small and gray from her hubby on her last birthday. What was it?
Small and gray. A cat.
A cat.
I agree.
It was a poodle. We put an X there. Your turn, Denver. Pick a star.
Marty Allen.
Marty Allen. You know that Noel is delighted about the whole thing. According to Glenn Campbell, love to me is something you what?
Purchase. Love is something you...
Love to me is something you... This is according to Glenn Campbell.
You earn, I guess.
You earn.
I disagree.
No, he said give, and in the act of giving, it always manages to work its way back to the giver. Oh, Glenn, we love it. X squared, $250, no rubber.
Paul Lynde, please.
Paul, according to medical statistics, a woman who is divorced, has a college education, and is 19 years old, is more likely to get a certain ailment than anybody else. Get what?
Heartbreak of psoriasis.
But according to medical statistics, a woman who is divorced, has a college education, and is 19 years old, is more likely to get a certain ailment than anybody else. What is it?
Likely divorced, 19.
Mm-hmm.
I will. 19 is what throws me. I have no idea.
All right, off the question to cricket. Would you like this, dear?
No.
Okay, it's a headache. We'll go to another Paul Lynde question, right? In the original classic movie Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein was supposed to do something very important the day the monster killed him. What was he supposed to do?
I think a tonsillectomy. What was he supposed to do?
Yeah, the doctor was supposed to do something very important that day. The monster killed him. What was it?
I think put the monster away.
Put the monster away.
I agree.
No, get married. X gets the square. No. Oh, time is up. That means... In ancient times, it was illegal to park your chariot in certain places in the biblical city of Nineveh. What was the penalty if you did so?
They let all the air out of your horse.
What was the penalty for illegal parking in the biblical city of Nineveh in ancient times?
I would say the dungeon, probably.
The dungeon.
I disagree.
No, death. With a circle. Steve? Mr. Lynde, is a jealous wife likely to be a better or a worse lover than a wife who is not jealous?
I found him to be much better.
A jealous wife, is she likely to be better or a worse lover than a wife who is not jealous?
I would say the jealous wife makes a better lover.
I agree.
Yes, according to psychological studies. Hey, these studies, I don't know. Carol? The United Nations has approved a plan in which you will be reimbursed for any damage to your health or your property caused by something falling on you. What?
The Secretary General. That pays you $8.
And all you can eat, yeah?
Falling on you.
Yeah.
Insurance for something...
Well, the United Nations has approved a plan in which you will be reimbursed for any damage to your health or your property caused by something falling on you. What?
Something falling on you. I will, see, falling on you. Meaning their home, not inside the UN.
All I can tell you is what I have here.
Something falling on you.
I tell you what, obviously, Paul is stuck for a bluff or a real answer, so we offer the question to our player. If you would like it, it is yours.
No, thank you.
A very tough question, Paul. Objects which have been launched into space.
That's what Buddy
That's what
said.
Buddy, well, Buddy, he's got that brain. What
Not
can I
any
say?
object, communication satellites only that are good for the benefit of everybody.
Oh, excuse me, Buddy.
Yeah.
See how much I know? Yeah. Paul, back to your question.
Give him my sex question next time.
Out of every 10 people, Paul, who are audited by the Internal Revenue Service, how many end up paying more taxes?
Out of what?
Out of every 10 people who are audited, how many end up paying more taxes?
11. Oh, gee, I'll, paying more. I would say, 7.
7.
I disagree.
7.
Ooh,
With an X.
Wow.
This is Elizabeth Taylor's middle name. Is it Rosalie, Rosamund, or Rosalinda? Rosalie, Rosamund, or Rosalinda? Elizabeth Taylor's middle name.
Let's I'm trying to think English because she's English.
Rosalie, Rosamond, or Rosalinda?
I'll say Rosamond.
I'll agree.
That's right. We have the block. Carol, your turn. Paul, historians say that King Henry VIII had Anne Boleyn beheaded because she couldn't do one particular thing. What?
Convince Henry VIII he was Henry I.
She couldn't do one particular thing, so Henry VIII had her beheaded.
I
Anne
think
Boleyn.
it was giving him a child.
I agree.
Yeah, a son. Right, yes. You have another X, and we have a commercial break. We'll be back.
Paul Lynde on one.
All righty. According to the Constitution, Paul, what's the proper term for our form of government?
At the moment, shaky. Or will you accept?
But according to the Constitution, what's the proper term for our form of government?
A republic for which it stands.
A republic.
I agree.
We could accept no others except republic. Very good, Paul. In the circle. Joe, your turn.
Paul Lynde, please.
Paul, true or false? Right this very minute, you are being watched by something on the moon.
Well, where was it when I had my series?
Both of them.
Yeah. No, look, that's it. Rub it in.
But are you being watched by something on the moon this very minute?
Yes, yes. Something, yes.
I'll agree with that.
No, you're not. No, none of us are being watched by anything on the moon. Put a circle there. You have circles all over the place. Now, let me explain.
Yes, let me go with Paul Lynde, please.
Paul, President Ford has stated that the only way it will happen will be over my dead body. What?
President Rockefeller.
The only way it'll happen will be over my dead body.
I know, fine. Gas rationing.
Gas rationing.
I agree.
That's right. Another X. Nancy, your turn. It's okay. Does Billy Graham think it's okay to look at pictures of naked women?
Yeah, but he can afford the real thing. Well, certainly there are nudes in religious pictures. I have to say, yes.
I'll agree.
He says it leads only to frustration, or even worse things. He's right. I'll put an X there. Tony, a break for you.
Paul Lynde, please.
Paul Lynde to block. True or false? French police recently raided a house of ill repute for senior citizens and arrested several men in their 70s.
And they were charged with loitering. I would say that's true.
I'll agree.
One fellow was 77. Kept yelling, "Vive la différence!" Yes. You have the circle. All right, it's your turn, Rick. Now, let me say something. There's a secret square up there. It's either Earl or Jan. How you going to play?
I'll go with Paul Lynde.
That's the secret square, and you were searching for it, too, Rick. I saw you looking around here. Okay, this would be secret square number 2-1 this evening, and I hope you get it. Rick, listen carefully. Paul, which of the following great artists was not French by birth? Was not French by birth. Was it Cézanne, Degas, or Picasso? Was not French by birth. Cézanne, Degas, or Picasso?
See, there's a big mix-up about Picasso. He was either exiled. Degas, I know is French. Who's the, and Cézanne is. I'll say. I think I'll say Pablo Picasso.
I'll agree.
Yeah, I believe he was Spanish. Yes, by birth. You have the X. This is for $250. Paul, according to psychologists, can most people accept laughter during romantic encounter?
I think they prefer applause.
Isn't it amazing that that is our buzzer? Now, that's put on a timer, so that is not done in the booth. Whoever, blank, and it always, some opportune moments, yes.
Has no sense of humor.
But that is our buzzer that means the time is up. And this is for $250 for Rick, so I'll go back to Paul Lynde for the question here. Paul, according to psychologists, can most people accept laughter during romantic encounter? Most people.
I would say so, yes.
I would disagree.
It is yes.
Thank you.
We put a circle there, and now we're going to add up the scores. Well,
The best-looking man in the world, Paul Lynde.
true or false? True or false, guy?
Yeah, one isn't.
The more money, the more money you make, the more likely you are to take a drink now and then.
Is that why Catherine Kuhlman slurs her words? The more apt you are to
Yeah, the more money you make, the more likely you are to take a drink.
I think it causes lots of anxieties.
Well, time is money here.
I'll agree.
Good. Statistics show that people are less likely to be teetotalers as their income rises. You have a circle, Ed. Look us ahead. Time is money now.
Again, I get Paul Lynde.
All righty. Paul Lynde. According to parakeet experts, can a drop or two of bourbon be good for your bird?
No, after a drop of bourbon, I get mean.
Can a drop or two of bourbon be good for the bird, according to parakeet experts?
If it'll shut it up, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I expect it could.
It can help him get over a cold. Yes. All right, with a circle. Ed, your turn. Please. Now, pick a star. Carol, tie game. You could blow.
Paul Lynde.
All right, that is the move. Yes. According to Dr. Thodeson, what's the major cause of itching?
I didn't hear what you said.
What's the major cause of itching in old folks?
Oh, eating shredded wheat in bed. What is this? Can they ever
Major
get
cause of itching in old folks. What is it?
I'd have to be, excessive dryness. of the
Dry skin. Carol?
Absolutely.
Sure, because the body is producing less oils. You have the circle. Ed, your turn.
Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde to block diagonally. We all know that birds go south as soon as the winter chill sets in. Do whales do the same?
Oh, I hope not. Let's see. I know the gray whales do. My sister's a member of the Sierra Club, and they watch them go down every year. Yes, they do go south.
I disagree.
Yes, they do. Some swim as far as 2,000 miles to find warmer water. Let me explain something, Harold. Paul is not the secret square. It's worth over $2,600.
Paul Lynde to win.
For $250. According to a Stanford University study, who has a greater tolerance for pain, young folks or old folks?
I don't know yet. I'm having 4 more old people in tomorrow.
Greater tolerance for pain, young or old folks?
Well, you lose your senses in real old age. I mean, so maybe you lose that one too. Maybe it eases up. Maybe older people can take pain more than little children.
I'll agree.
No, it's the young. It's the young. We put a circle there. Dolores, back in it.
Lynn.
Paul, according to the National Enquirer, Richard Burton recently stated, "I'm quite serious about this. I hate it. Honestly, I just can't bear it." What was he referring to?
Cholera. I just hate it.
Yeah, I'm quite serious about this. I hate it, honestly. I just can't bear it. What was he referring to?
I hate it. I just can't bear it. He's such an easygoing guy. One of the most charming people I've ever met.
Thank you, Paul.
I will say he stopped drinking. Maybe he'd learned to hate it. I don't know. Maybe
Drinking.
I'll say drinking.
I disagree.
No, it's acting. Acting. He's brilliant, but he doesn't like it. We'll have a circle there. Harold, you're... Hugh Hefner is quoted as saying, next to beautiful women, I think I like blanks best. What comes after beautiful women?
Paternity suit.
He says, next to beautiful women, I think I like blanks best. Fill in the blank.
Next to beautiful women, I think I like blank. Horses.
Horses.
I'll disagree.
Gadgets. Okay, we have the X. Dolores, it's your turn. Paul, do 250 million Hindus worship a peacock?
They did until they ate it. They're eating everything, and then, yeah.
But do 250 million Hindus worship a peacock? Yes or
I
no?
think they worship a cow.
So you say no?
No. Oh, 250 million? There's 8 billion there, aren't there? Just maybe a small little town.
A small little town, 250 million?
You know how they multiply. I will still go with, 250 million, then that's just a cow.
No way.
I disagree with Paul.
Oh, yes, they do. It's the emblem of Krishna. Put an X there. Okay, Laura, your turn. True or false? According to columnist Burt Bacharach, people tend to start shrinking a little after about age 30.
Did you know that Rosemarie is standing up in her
Oh,
cubicle?
shut up. Pick.
Pick. You know, that you start shrinking after 30? Well, you know that I used to be 6, eggs on the head, and I'm now like a quarter inch under. I think you also got a little stooped.
Can you say it's true?
Oh, yes.
I agree.
Absolutely.
You
Put a circle
settle.
there. Okay, Lee, your turn.
Paul Lynde block.
Paul, according to the classic old song, it was there I knew that you loved me true. Where?
Is it okay to point?
No, according to the classical song, it was there I knew that you loved me true. Where?
In your eyes of blue.
In your eyes of blue. Patty?
I agree.
No, audience. Down by the old mill stream. We have a commercial. We'll be right back. Well, the secret square up there, and it's your option.
I'll go with Paul Lynde.
All righty, for tie game, Paul. Did any Shakespearean character use the expression, right on?
Shakespeare character. Right on?
Mm-hmm.
Right on. I'd say it was near the love scene. Near the end of the love scene. Of Romeo and Juliet.
So you say yes.
I think she said right on, Rome.
You said yes.
I'll agree.
You'll buy that?
I'll buy that.
In Julius Caesar, Mark Antony says, I only speak right on. Yes, you have an X. We have a tie game. Paul, reportedly, the marriage contract between Aristotle Onassis and Jackie Kennedy stated that if Jackie did something within 5 years after they were married, Ari would give her $18 million. If Jackie did what?
If she made all pro with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But if Jackie...
Let's hear what you would say.
But if Jackie did something within 5 years after they were married, Ari would give her $18 million. If she did what?
If she did something within 5 years after they're married, he would give her
$18 million. If she did what?
Let's see, I would say... I'm trying to concentrate. And that's Bob Quigley. I would say they have not had any children. I would say give me a child.
I disagree.
No. If she left him, he would have given her $18 million. But she's expected to get at least $100 million if he goes to that big place in the sky. Yeah. So we put an X there. You have the block wheel part. Experts who are repairing Michelangelo's famous statue, the Pietà, were recently surprised to find something in the figure's left hand that they hadn't noticed before. What?
A $5 win ticket on Goliath. I read. I read the security that's around that while they're doing the work, and they said that the experts say you won't be able to tell at all that it was ever harmed.
Yeah, but what did they found something in the figure's left hand that they hadn't noticed before. What was it?
I didn't read that. That she had in her left hand.
They found something in the figure's left hand that they hadn't noticed before.
A ring.
A ring.
I'll disagree.
No, the letter M. Presumably, well, it was from Michelangelo, I guess. Yes, Virginia, your turn. Paul the block, I might have got a bird to win. They keep forgetting. Paul, does Raquel Welch like milkshakes?
She doesn't have much choice, does she? Let's see. She's probably one of these ladies that can, eat anything and not gain, and she probably does. She loves them.
He says yes.
I'll agree.
Yes, and we have an X there. Your turn, Virginia. Go right ahead. Paul, according to the World Book, what's the main thing we get from Honduras?
You got it, too.
Our main import from Honduras.
Honduras import. I will say sugar or pineapple. Something tropical. I'm not up on the Honduras. I'll go with sugar.
Sugar.
I'll disagree.
Banana. Banana. Yes, the banana republic with a circle. Okay, Bruce.
Paul Lynde in the center.
Paul, what television show tells us the story of a black family who moves to Manhattan and takes up residence in a fancy high-rise apartment building?
It's marvelous. The Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons.
Absolutely correct.
Absolutely correct. Yes, you have the block, and it is your...
Davidson. No, Paul Lynde, please.
Paul Lynde. All righty, this is for the block. Paul, speaking about her hubby, Carlo, Sophia Loren recently stated, he loves it. He really loves it. And of course, it's good to love it. But there can be too much of it. What is it?
Oh, Lord, it's either pasta or her.
He loves it, of course. It's good to love it, but there can be too much of it. What is it?
I'll say money.
Money.
I'll disagree.
Work. You have the X. Okay, Patty, your turn.
Roddy.
Friends. Doris Day's Beverly Hills neighbors. Paul recently made Doris get rid of some things she was quite fond of. What?
Her musical hide-a-bed and 3 Korean acrobats. I don't know.
You disagree?
You disagree? Did you disagree? made her get rid of something.
Yeah, Doris Day's Beverly Hills neighbor said you have to get rid of something. And she was quite fond of it, too.
Well, she has many, many dogs. I don't know of any other animal she has. I think there's, restriction. I think you can only have 3 and not be a kennel. And I think it's all of her dogs.
Dogs.
I'll agree.
She had to cut down from 25 to 5. Dogs. You have the circle. Paul, it's your turn.
Pull in, please.
Paul, true or false, there is a new bra on the market that squeaks in various musical tones.
The hills are alive with the...
New bra that squeaks musical tones. True or false?
You mean for Halloween or something like that? Musical notes.
Musical tones. No, a legit brassiere.
I just don't think anyone would want that attention brought to their bra. I would say false.
He said false.
Falsey, you mean?
Not falsey, Don. No, not falsey. False.
I'm going to disagree on general principles.
The hills are alive with it. It's true. We have a commercial. Yes. Pick a star.
Paul Lynde, please.
Paul, what is the highest United States military award for bravery? Highest.
They'll lend you $1,500 toward the home of your choice.
Highest military award for bravery.
The Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
Yes, I agree.
Right, well, the next. Okay, Marion, your turn.
Robert Fuller.
Paul, according to Shakespeare, Macbeth meets 3 women in strange attire who tell him that someday he will become what?
Tony Orlando. He meets the 3 witches.
And they will tell him someday that he will become something.
Oh,
What?
Thane of Cawdor. King.
King.
I agree.
Right. That's it. Yes, you've got yourself $500. Paul Lynde, of course. Paul, true or false, studies at the University of Wisconsin show that you'll probably live longer if you love only one man or woman at a time.
But it is all right to alternate. Live longer if you love one man or one woman. Yeah, probably true.
I will disagree.
Yes, it is true. Put a circle there. True or false? A woman was fired from a university cafeteria for failing to spread mayonnaise to the edges of sandwiches and being too slow with the sauerkraut.
I'd just like to slap her silly.
Was a woman actually fired for that?
Yes, she was, but I think that they took her back. But she was fired.
She was fired. Yes, I agree.
Yes, and she was rehired, I believe. But they gave her another department. With an expert. Paul, according to experts, something strange happens when a person who stutters starts to whisper. What?
He's twice as hard to understand. Something strange. If you said sing, I have actor friends that have stuttering problems, and when they sing, they have no problem. I'll go with that, though, that they suddenly don't stutter.
Patrick?
Would you repeat the
Sure.
question?
Something strange happens to a person, according to experts, who stutters when they start to whisper. What? He said stops stuttering.
I disagree.
That is exactly correct. Yeah. Put a circle there. A break for you. Stina, pick a star. Paul, your wife just isn't interested at all in romance. Now, will giving her male hormones help?
Well, just how would you do that?
Your wife isn't interested in romance at all. Will giving her male hormones help the situation?
Well, if you gave her female hormones, she'd go to the neighbors. I would say yes, I think it would help her.
I disagree.
No, and the side effects could be miserable, like she could trip on her beard or something. All right, put a circle there. We have a commercial. We'll be right back. In song, she has a brow that's all furrowed and wrinkled with care. Who is she?
Oh, Edie Gourmet.
You know that Steve and Edie watch this show every week.
Well, she's a good laugher.
In song, she has a brow that's all furrowed and wrinkled with care. Who is she?
Mother.
I disagree.
A little more specific, Paul.
Mother McCree.
Mother McCree.
I disagree.
That's Mother McCree. He was really specific. Hit it right on the button. Mother McCree. All right.
Are you kidding?
Oh, I'm not kidding you. That's it. All right, put it next there, Patrick. Traditionally, Pope Paul does not have a big birthday to do. He doesn't. But he does get something special on his birthday. What?
Kenny Williams, tell Pope Paul what he's getting for his birthday.
What does the Pope usually get? He gets something special on his birthday. That most of us get, I should say.
Oh, I'd say a cake.
A cake. I agree. It's baked, incidentally, by the nuns who prepare his meals. Yes, all righty. You have the action moments. Your turn. According to his wife, what is Lawrence Welk's worst fault?
Getting up in the morning. Getting up in the morning.
He likes to sit on his bubble machine. I don't know the Welks. Let's see, what his worst fault?
Yeah, according to his wife.
He certainly is this. I'll say he's too nice.
Too nice.
I'll agree.
No. In fact, it's his temper, which he has worked the hardest to overcome. He has a very bad temper, according to his wife. Yes. But he counts up to a 1, a 2, a 3. Yeah, we put a circle there, Wilma.
Please?
Paul, before you play a game called Idiot's Delight, you must have one certain thing. What?
Monty Hall to hold the box. What is the name of the game?
You must have one certain thing to play Idiot's Delight. What?
Can't get a break.
A game.
Oh, a game. I know the movie Idiot's Delight. A candle.
A candle.
I agree.
A deck of cards. It's a form of solitaire. Put it next there. All right, Michael, your turn. Paul, Howard Cosell's lovely wife, Emmy, says that 10 times a day, Howard says something to her. What?
Is my hair back from the cleaners?
What does Howard say to his lovely wife, Emmy, 10 times a day, according to his wife?
I hear he's a very, good husband, loving man. I would say, I love you.
I love you.
That sounds all right.
Good for Howard, and you have picked yourself up $250. Your house just burned down. Who is probably more upset, you or your wife?
Oh, I am. I'll miss her terribly. Well, the man has to pay for the loss if the insurance company sure doesn't. I would say women like possessions more. I think they would be more upset.
The woman would be more upset.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
No. Women tend to keep their heads better in major crises, and it's the man. Now, let me explain. Barbara, $1,000 fact. How are you going to play it?
I'm still going to go with Paul Lynde.
All righty, for a tie game, Paul. According to Dr. David Rubin, what should you tell a 14-year-old boy who insists that he has no interest in girls?
Your slip is showing. What should Dr. Rubin, what would Dr.
What
Rubin?
would, according to the good doctor, what should you tell a 14-year-old boy who insists that he has no interest in girls?
Bide his time. You know, it's some people don't fall in love till they're mature sometimes.
Barbara?
I agree.
Yeah, basically that's it. You say nothing, really. He still has a lot of time to work up to an interest. Yes. All righty. We have a tie game, and that's nice.
Paul Lynde.
Paul, this is for $250. Queen Elizabeth generally swings her umbrella behind her back, and immediately something happens. What?
Lord Snowden doubles up in pain.
Take that, you're Nikon.
Usually waves it behind her.
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth generally swings her umbrella behind her back, and immediately something happens. What?
Something happens. Probably a attendant or probably a guard appears.
A guard appears. Or an
Disagree.
attendant. You disagree? Yes, we can accept that. An aide moves to her side. It's a signal, I would suppose. We put a circle there. Cheryl?
Oh, Paul Lynde.
According to Fred Astaire, his mother wanted him to do it when he was 35, but he refused, and he still hasn't done it. Done what?
Moved out of the house. Still hasn't done it.
Yeah, his mother wanted him to do it, though, when he was 35, but he refused. He still hasn't done it. Done what?
Have his tonsils out.
Have his tonsils out.
I'll agree.
You bought that, eh? No, retired. He says he still has no desire to retire, and his mother says, quit, Fred, quit. We have an X there. Arthur, a break for you. Secret Square game. Paul, Twiggy reportedly added an inch to her bust line while making The Boyfriend. Now, incidentally, that is a motion picture, ladies and gentlemen. The Boyfriend is a motion picture, you see. All right, we'll try it again. Twiggy reportedly added an inch to her bust line while making The Boyfriend. What does that make her bust measurement now?
1. Gotta retain like Charlie does. We had her measurement on the show once. She gained 1 inch.
Mm-hmm.
1. No, 30. I'll go with 32.
32.
I'll disagree.
He hit it right on the button. He retained. He remembered that, yes. 32. She is now a dart. We cannot put a circle there. Cheryl, you'll have to earn that yourself.
I'll take Paul Lynde to win.
This is for $750. According to Zsa Zsa Gabor, she is waiting for a real man, and meanwhile loves something fake. What? Oh, it isn't easy, Fred. Let me explain. That means the game is up, but we must complete the question. So we'll go with this question. According to Zsa Zsa Gabor, she is waiting for a real man, and meanwhile loves something fake. What?
Fake. Fake.
Careful.
Yeah, I know it. I was all ready with my answer till I realized you were here.
This is Zsa Zsa, not Ava.
I know. For something fake in the meantime. I know that she's gotten rid of all of her furs because of her new love for animals. Not new love, but her love for animals. I'll say fake furs.
Furs.
Fake furs?
Mm-hmm.
I'll disagree.
It's Jules. She wears only fake jewelry since her robberies. We have a circle and $750. And listen to this. Up diagonally. Now, there is a prune tree growing in your yard. How do you know when the prunes are ripe?
My grandfather comes over. I didn't know there was a prune tree. I thought it was a plum tree.
Well, they have plum trees, too, but there's also...
There is a prune tree?
Yeah. There is a prune tree growing in your yard. How do you know when the prunes are ripe?
I would think that they would start to fall to the ground.
Fall to the ground.
I agree.
That's right, because they are the plums, and they fall into their prunes and their stuff. You made it. And so, Paul, your question here for the block. According to Ann Landers, should a wife ever tell her husband that he is a failure as a lover?
Well, she should break it to him easy. Like, you're almost as good as... What's the question? Should she ever
tell her husband he is a failure as a lover?
Oh, not if she wants him to hang around, I wouldn't think.
Says no.
I agree.
It is no. How does she convey that, though? I mean, well, anyway.
There are ways.
There are ways, well, okay. $50. Paul, is it especially difficult to train an ostrich to become a sheepdog?
Yes, they can't lift their leg without tipping over. You mean the same function as sheepdog?
Yeah, as a shepherd, in other words.
A shepherd.
Is it
a shepherd
easy?
Ostrich. Well, boy, they sure could, they could pass a sheep. They're so fast. They could sure catch them. I would say maybe they could.
I'll disagree.
Yeah, they make excellent shepherds, in fact. With a circle. Sheila, a break for you. Secret square game.
Karen.
Paul, according to the old song, I'd like to be your sister, brother, dad, and mother, too. Who are you?
Oh, Cesar Romero. Old Butch.
I'd like to be your sister, brother, dad, and mother, too. Who are you?
I'd like to be your sister. I would say it sounds like your lover.
Your lover?
I'll agree.
No. Pretty baby. Pretty baby.
No, that could be your lover.
Yeah. Karen, Paul.
Circle.
Circle.
Oh. Excuse me, put a circle there. All right. Now, Paul. Paul, there's a famous old saying around which says that a good one is worth more than money. A good what?
Then how come they charge you for it? A good one?
Yeah, an old saying around which says a good one is worth more than money. A good what? Famous old saying.
I would say, if you've had that luck, a good wife.
A good wife.
I'll disagree.
No, a good reputation. Let's put a circle. Roy, it's your
David
turn.
McCullum.
David, is there anything on Earth that can flap its wings faster than a hummingbird?
How about an owl in a forest fire?
We don't have these specifics, just is there anything faster on Earth that can flap its wings faster than a hummingbird?
Tony Randall is the authority on hummingbirds, and I think he told me there is nothing.
He said nothing.
I'll agree.
Oh, yes, there is. Many insects, for example. Yes, what does Tony know? Put an X there. Lieutenant?
Don.
According to Dr. Spock, a good rule of thumb about when to first discuss the facts of life with your child is when he does something. What?
Gets his Barbie doll in trouble. I would think the first time is when he asks you.
When he asks you.
I will agree.
Right, with an X. Okay, Bonnie, your turn.
John?
In the agriculture 4-H clubs, you're from Ohio, you should know this, 4-H clubs, 3 of the H's are head, heart, and hands. What is the 4th?
Hips.
Head, heart, hands, and
Health.
health.
Could you repeat the question?
Sure, 4-H club. What do the H's stand for? We have head, heart,
I will
hands.
agree.
He said yes. Right. Very good for the next. Bonnie, you're... All right, Paul. On television, what does the bionic woman do for a living?
She keeps Lee Majors from getting rusty.
The bionic woman. She has a profession. What is that?
I think she's a doctor.
A doctor.
I disagree.
No, she's a teacher, Paul. Yeah, put a circle there. All right.
Karen?
What very, very popular song was originally titled The Bombardment of Fort McHenry?
Oh, little town of Bethlehem. What is
A
the...
very famous song. It was originally titled The Bombardment of Fort McHenry.
Fort McHenry. The Yanks are coming.
The Yanks are coming.
I'll disagree.
No, Francis Scott Key. Remember they bombed. He wrote the Star Spangled Banner. Yeah, well, the next. Okay, ready, your turn.
George Goebel, please.
Hercules. Hercules is famous for his 12 labors. Franklin Roosevelt is famous for his 4 freedoms. And Richard Nixon is famous for his 6... what?
Names for Judge Sirica.
Nixon's 6...
trials, I think it was called.
6 trials.
I agree.
No, that's the idea, but we needed crises.
Oh,
yeah,
crisis.
his famous book, 6 Crises. Can't put an extra. Now, Phil, let me just say this.
And?
All right, for a block. At a horse race, can you tell one jockey from another just by looking at his pants?
Only if he's carrying extra weight.
Can you differentiate jockeys by the pants?
But the colors, yes.
I disagree.
Good. They all wear white pants. Their shirts and hats are colored to tell them apart. So, that's a good disagree. Put a circle there.
George.
Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde to win. Yes, $250. Paul, you've been awarded a Nobel Prize. Where will you go to get it?
Kenny Williams, tell me where I'm going to get my Nobel Prize.
Go ahead, Kenny. Well, first we're going to stop.
I get these countries mixed up, but I think it's Sweden.
Sweden.
I agree.
Stockholm, in fact, where the Nobel festivities are held, and $250 each. Paul, according to the old song, the Bible tells me so. Now, you're an Ohio boy, and I know that. The Bible tells me so. What 3 things do you have to have in order to live successfully?
The love of a woman, a good job, and the love of another woman.
For the Bible tells me so, the letters. But according to the old song, the Bible tells me so. What 3 things do you have to have in order to live successfully?
Jesus loves me.
I disagree.
That's how it starts, but it's faith, hope, and charity in the lyrics of the song. That's all right. With the next one, Eve, it's your turn. A spokesman recently revealed that Richard Nixon spends about 3/4 of his time doing something which he finds agonizing. What is he doing, Richard Nixon?
Reading obscene skywriting.
He finds it agonizing. He spends about 3/4 of his time doing it, though.
3/4 of his time. I would probably say reading history.
Reading history.
I disagree.
No, writing his memoirs.
Oh.
Yes, okay, with the next. Steve, your turn. According to doctors, now, Ralph here's a doctor, he may know this. According to doctors, can spending a night in a sleeping bag do anything good for you?
I'll say my den mother bought me a Corvette.
Can it do anything good for you, sleeping in a sleeping bag?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. According to the Texas Children's Hospital in Houston, sore muscles, of course they are effectively eased by the uniform heat of the sleeping bag. Well, put an X there. And, Paul, on the debut of his television show, he walked out with his thumb in his mouth and said, "I want my nana." Who did that?
Was that the State of the Union address?
Debut of his television show. He walked out with his thumb in his mouth and said, "I want my nana." Who did that?
Well, it sounds like Jonathan, but I don't know. My name.
I want my nanny.
I'll say Red Skelton.
Red Skelton.
I'll disagree.
Johnny Carson on his first Tonight Show. Yes, okay, you've got...
George Gobel.
Paul, when he was a child, American frontier hero Daniel Boone was adopted. Daniel Boone was adopted. Who adopted Daniel Boone?
The Indians.
The Indians.
I'll agree.
The Shawnee Indians. Yes, you've got the circle. Ralph, your turn. $250. True or false? A woman in Idaho has filed a big lawsuit because she was stuck in a restroom stall and couldn't get out.
Why, that's false imprisonment. She had to slip her complaint under the door. She was
stuck in this restroom stall and couldn't get out. Is a woman suing because of that?
I would say yes.
I'll agree to that.
You've got yourself $250. Congratulations.
Paul Lynde Black.
Paul, has there ever been a 9-pound goldfish?
Yes, and it starred in the Japanese version of Jaws.
9-pound goldfish.
Well, some people classify carp as goldfish, and I've seen them weigh that.
He said yes.
Yes, I've seen.
I agree.
In fact, it made the Guinness Book of Records just recently. We have a commercial. You're on the... Paul, you are listening to passion music. In all probability, where are you?
The Oxnard Conservatory of Electronics and Massage.
I've passed it many times, yes. You're listening to passion music. In all probability, where are you if you listen to passion music?
I would say you're in church.
In church.
I disagree.
Sure, it's the sacred opera, usually sung during Holy Week and only in church. Can't put a circle there, Ruth?
Paul Lynde.
Righty, for $250. A famous person stated recently, Paul, I have not been frustrated by being number 2, and I'm having a great time. Who was it?
Henry Weinberg. That's Liz's trick.
That's Liz's X trick, yeah.
Well, this week. I'll say it must be Rockefeller.
Rockefeller.
I agree.
That's it, $250, Ruth Ann. Congratulations. Now, Paul, what's another name for the famous Queen of the Adriatic?
Could be so many people.
Another name for the famous Queen of the Adriatic.
I'll say Greece.
Greece.
I disagree.
No, Venice, Italy. Venice. With a circle. George, your turn.
Hal Linden.
Star, my friend.
Paul Lynde, please.
No, I would have gone to Sandy to block. This may work out. I'll give you 2 lines. You give me the title of the famous song. You must remember this. A kiss is just a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh.
As time goes by.
As time goes by.
I agree.
For the next there, Ruth, quickly.
Sandy.
I'll take Paul Lynde, please.
Paul, true or false, Jerry Lewis paid $15,000 to have his dog fitted with a hearing aid.
Yes, but he actually raised $150,000.
I agree.
Well, I tell you, I hope it's true, and if it is, I'm going to call him because Harry's losing his hearing. And if that's possible, I'd sure spend it.
Yeah, it's true.
I agree.
Yeah, it's true. Jerry loves that dog, just like you love old Harry McAfee. Okay, Paul, true or false, gypsy folklore. Gypsy folklore says that God created man by baking him in an oven?
Looks like you were overcooked.
Is that true or false?
Oh, you'll have to give it to me again.
Okay. Gypsy folklore says that God created man by baking him in an oven. True or false?
True.
I'll agree.
That is true. All right. Cliff, your turn. False. Eating a lot of cheese can help cut down on how much pain you feel.
That's why I never serve a salad with Roquefort.
In other words, cheese can cut down on how much pain you feel. True or false?
Well, nutritionally, cheese is not that good for you. I'm going to say it doesn't cut down on the pain.
He said that's false.
I think I'll disagree.
It contains a substance which makes you less sensitive to pain. Good to hear that. All right, you've got the circle, and Cliff, it's your turn. Paul, true or false? For $60, any tourist can have his picture taken next to the Golden Gate Bridge with a naked lady.
And with the extra $40, you get to cross the bridge.
Can you have your picture taken next to the Golden Gate Bridge with a naked lady for $60?
Yes.
I'll agree.
To show the folks back home, I guess you're having a swinging time in San Fran. You've got the circle. Cliff? Paul? Superstitious people believe that stepping on something will bring bad luck. Stepping on what?
Frank Sinatra's foot. The crack in the sidewalk.
Step on a crack.
I agree.
That's right, with a circle. Then, Paul, true or false? Vitamins can make you smell bad.
That's why I prefer not to exercise with Jack LaLanne. Some vitamins can.
Agreed.
B1 is a killer, yes. Okay, all right, you got the circle. Dan, your turn. Within two, how many husbands have the three Gabor sisters had among them?
You mean including our own? How many
husbands have the Gabor sisters have had? Yes, combined, totaled. Within two.
Oh, within two.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say within a dozen. Let's see, two. Let's see. 2, 4. All the sisters?
All the
not
sisters
just
combined. No.
I will say a 10.
10.
Agree.
17. Oh. Put an X there. Okay, pick a star. True or false? According to the Los Angeles Times, right before he died, Show and Lie said, "I shall soon be seeing Karl Marx."
But first, Jean Harlow. He was certainly his idol. I would think that would be something.
Yes, that is true.
I agree.
That is true. All right, you've got the Paul Lynde to win. On May 20th, 1927, something historic began, which lasted 33 hours and 29 minutes. What?
Wasn't that the year of the Dione quintuplets?
May 20th, 1927, something historic began. 1927, May 20th, which lasted 33 hours and 29 minutes. Historic.
Historic. 27.
I don't think Paul has a bluff for this. Jan, would you like the question?
No.
I bet you George knows. What is it, George?
Lindbergh flew across the ocean.
That's right. Lindbergh's famous flight to New York to Paris. Actually, St. Louis to Paris. All right, back to a Paul Lynde question. Paul, according to the Philadelphia Inquirer, what bad habit will your dog probably develop if you constantly feed him table scraps?
He'll want Thursdays off. He will just drive you crazy when you're having, your meal with your family or something.
Begging.
He'll be begging all the time.
I agree.
That's absolutely correct. Circle gets the square. We have a tie game.
Paul Lynde to block.
Paul, if you stripped all the paint off the Mona Lisa, what would you find underneath?
A T-shirt. If I stripped all the paint off...
In other words, what was it painted on, the Mona Lisa?
Oh. Obviously not canvas, I guess, huh?
I didn't say there was...
I know. Well, I'll go with canvas.
Canvas.
I'll agree.
No, wood. It's painted on wood. Can't put an X there.
Okay. Paul Lynde, please.
Paul, at what famous place in America will you find couples strolling arm in arm along Flirtation Walk and smooching at a place called Kissing Rock?
Oh, Leavenworth.
Very famous place in America. Couples stroll arm in arm along Flirtation Walk and smooch at a place called Kissing Rock.
I saw that movie 80 times. West Point.
West Point.
I agree.
I saw the movie too, yes. All right. With another circle. According to Glamour magazine, Paul, do people tend to eat more when the lights are low?
What?
Do people tend to eat more when the lights are low? Do they tend to eat more when the lights are low, people?
Low.
Yeah, do they tend to eat more when the lights are low, people?
Yes, yes.
He said yes, they do.
I disagree.
You play the game beautifully. People tend to eat less and more slowly in dim lighting. It is no, with another circle. All right.
Lynde.
All righty. Paul, true or false, scientists say that a small child will believe the story that the stork brought him easier than he will how it really happened.
What do you mean, really happened?
Is that true, that he'll believe the story of the stork easier than the true story? If a parent tells him the true story or the stork, he'll take the stork story?
Well, I can only go by... I was told the stork story, and I believed it, and I thought it was charming.
He says true.
Oh, I disagree.
It's true. Put an X there. Interesting. Major, go right ahead.
Paul Lynde.
Pope Paul VI recently stated that if women take it too far, it can pose a threat to their spiritual and moral integrity. Take what too far?
A bus with reclining seats.
If women take it too far, it can pose a threat to their spiritual and moral integrity. Take what too far?
I would say loose living.
Loose living.
I agree.
Nope. Women's lib. Women's lib. Put an X there. Major, break. You are a gorilla's worst enemy. What are you?
A discount furrier. What would be the biggest enemy of a gorilla? Probably man.
Man.
I agree.
His only real enemy is man. Yes, with a circle. Major?
I'll go to shoe sandwich.
True or false? The United States Department of Agriculture has finally managed to develop a mini pig.
I hear you can kick him a mile. As a football. A mini pig.
Yeah, they've developed a mini pig.
I wouldn't know why they'd want a mini pig. I mean, because you grow them for food. Mini pig. I'll say true.
He said, yes, they've developed a mini pig.
I'll agree.
I'll tell you why. For research, mainly, it's very small and docile. You know, their skin is very similar to humans. They are very akin in many respects. With a circle, Tom, your turn. Vincent. Several ways to play this. How are you going to play?
Paul Lynde.
Okay, for a tie game, $250. What well-known space-age word comes from the Latin for little chest?
Joni.
Space-age word comes from the Latin for little chest.
Well, I'll just go with, you know, the first one that comes to mind, orbit.
Orbit.
I'll disagree.
A capsule. Yes, we have a tie game. That's nice. Why did Robinson Crusoe call his island companion Friday?
Because Thursday was his day off.
Why did he call him Friday? Why did Robinson Crusoe call his island companion Friday?
I will, boy, I don't remember for sure, but I would say that that's when they met.
That's when they met, on that day.
I'll agree.
That's right. You have the X. Okay, Jody. Oh, according to the new book of knowledge, the most important use of leather is for what?
To hold animals together. What is the
most important use of leather?
Gee, I would say today it would be clothing.
A little more specific.
A little more specific.
Leather.
Upholstery?
Upholstery. Lee?
I disagree.
Shoes, Paul. We were in the right. Yes, we had to be shoes. You were right with clothing, but we needed shoes. You have the circle, and Ken, it's your turn. Paul, what does the name Jose Iturbi remind you of?
How hard it is to get good help these days.
Jose Iturbi, what does that remind you of, the name, Jose Iturbi?
It reminds me of Amparo Iturbi, his sister, a pianist.
Piano.
I agree.
Great concert pianist. Right, you have the circle. Ken, your turn. I'm terribly sorry. Paul Lynde, sure. Paul, true or false? During the recent holidays, Rosemarie, our own Rosemarie, entertained on a cruise ship.
Entertainment. Not according to the reviews. Anyway, she thought it was a troop ship. Or I should have said tramp steamer. Yes, she did. She said she had the greatest time. She told us the other night.
I'm going to disagree again.
Oh, yeah, she entertained. She got a new act, and it's terrific. I mean, it's really terrific, and we're very proud of you. So we put an X there, and Ken, it's your turn.
Paul Lynde.
Paul, true or false? Women smokers in Uganda traditionally put the lit end of the cigarette into their mouths.
Don't tell me what they do with their chewing gum. Let's see.
Is that true or false? The women put the lit end in their mouths in Uganda.
Yeah, I think Ugandans do that.
Lee?
I'll agree.
The men smoke just the way we do, but the women do that. You've got two circles. Ken, your turn. True or false? Kate Smith. Kate Smith is a Texas Ranger.
But I'll always remember her as a big singing star. Kate Smith.
Is she a Texas Ranger?
Well, I know she was, you know, that baseball team that's made her an honorary member, I think. Yes, she is.
I'll agree.
An honorary member of the Texas Rangers. Okay, with the next book, Still More Answers. Can a moose remember anything?
Just enough to have more moose.
You say that a moose can remember something?
Or is it Moses? I don't know why they didn't get it. What? What?
You say they can remember.
I didn't know. I was nodding my head. I was saying, what is the question?
Oh, according to the book, still more answers. Can a moose remember anything, yes or no?
Oh, yes.
I'll agree.
Definitely every kind of creature on Earth can remember and forget. All right, your turn, Martha. Paul, can a rock, an ordinary rock, can a rock be female?
Can after 30 years of marriage. Rock be female? Yes, yes, they do have genders.
I'll agree.
Rocks are neuter. No, unless you get hit by one. Yes. Put another circle there. We have a commercial. Paul, Lawrence Welk recently admitted that he loves it, but his audience doesn't like it. What is it?
Pig's knuckles and sauerkraut.
He loves it. His audience doesn't like it. What is it?
I bet he likes the modern sound.
The modern sound.
Doesn't.
I'll disagree.
I'll need a ruling on that. He says the modern sound, which we have jazz here,
Yeah.
but we can't say modern sound. Which is his favorite type of music? Jazz. We can't accept modern sound. Very good. With the next, Martha, your turn. Boys wore high heels to help them do one specific thing. What?
Oh, I
Cowboys.
dare you. What?
Cowboys wore high heels to help them do one specific thing. What?
I'd say get on the horse.
Get on the horse.
I'll disagree.
No, just ride the horse. That anchored them in the stirrups. Not to get on. Ride with another X. Martha, your turn.
Harvey.
Star, dear. Good luck, Mom.
Paul Lynde.
Paul. Nancy Sinatra says that her year-and-a-half-old daughter, Angela, is already doing something that Grandpa Frank Sinatra is famous for. What?
Oh, yeah. She threw a diaper at a reporter.
Her year-and-a-half-old daughter, Angela, Frank's granddaughter, is already doing something that Grandpa Frank is famous for. What?
Well, I would have to be singing.
Singing.
I agree.
Sure. Good start with a circle. John, your turn.
Paul Lynde.
Paul, according to the old song, here we are out of cigarettes, holding hands and yawning. Who are we?
Roy and Dale.
Good old Roy and Dale.
Two sleepy people.
Two sleepy
Too much
people.
in love to fall asleep.
I agree.
By dawn's early light. Right, you've got the circle. John?
Paul Lynde.
Paul, Ronald Reagan was placed on top of the list of 1975's 10 best... what?
67-year-old brunettes.
Is Ronald Reagan 67? Yes. Is he 67? He looks terrific.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. But Ronald Reagan was placed on top of the list of 1975's 10 best...
Yes, best dressed.
Best dressed.
I agree.
That is true. Yes, you've got the circle, we've got a commercial word. Paul, modern science can't really explain why, but if you go outside at night, stand on your head and stare at the full moon, you will notice something unusual. What?
Listen, just 8 seconds, rain will fill up your nose.
You stand on your head and stare at the full moon, you will notice something unusual. What?
Full moon.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go out when it's full. Let's see. Notice something unusual.
About the full moon.
That it's not I was going to say that it's not really quite round.
That it's not really quite round.
I disagree.
No, it will look only about half as big as usual if you stand on your head and look at it.
Oh,
They can't explain why. Okay, with an X, and Pat, it is your turn. The game. Good luck. Paul, Eddie Fisher. Eddie Fisher says that he hasn't had one for 8 years. But he's looking for what?
Oh, an accompanist who takes master charge.
Eddie hasn't had one for 8 years, but he's looking for what?
Sure.
I see, I guess it must be 8 years already. I'd say a wife.
A wife.
I agree.
A wife, yeah, that's right. Very good with the next. Thank you, Pat.
Paul Lynde for the block.
Paul, true or false? If you turn on a certain television station in Manhattan, a woman will walk up and put her lips on the screen, and you can kiss her.
I like Barbara Walters better when she does interviews.
But can you do that in New York, in Manhattan?
Oh, I'll bet so. I bet you can.
He says you can.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
Yeah, you know, it's on cable TV. There's some wild things going on. In fact, it doesn't stop with that, by the way. I've heard all of these stories. You can't put an X there. Greg, you'll have to earn that yourself.
Paul Lynde, please.
Paul, this is for $250. According to Hugh Hefner, is inflation a big problem in the Playboy empire?
Inflation? Did you see Miss February? Well, I hear he's in great financial trouble. At least the magazine is. So I would say indirectly, yes, it's true.
I'll agree.
Yes, absolutely. And you've got yourself $250. A great comeback, Greg.
Please.
Paul, the average American gains 3.7 pounds after he does something. Does what?
Buying dentures from a drugstore. Thank you, George. What? I know what it is. And I wish I could quit, but it's smoking.
Smoking.
I agree.
I've gained 10, and it's been hard to lose, I'll tell you, but it's worth it. Anyway, it's smoking. Right. Okay, you've got the X, and Judith, it's your turn.
Lynde, please.
Paul, Ann Landers has written a booklet titled How to Tell the Difference Between Love and what?
A kidney infection.
Ann Landers has written a booklet titled How to Tell the Difference Between Love and...
Sex.
Sex.
I agree.
That's right. Hey, very good. 2 X's on the board. Judith?
I think
Paul? Sir Alexander Fleming, Ernest B. Chain, and Sir Howard W. Florey were awarded the Nobel Prize in 1945 for discovering something which has made millions of people around the world feel better. What did they discover?
Chinese underwear.
Will you explain that to me later,
No,
Paul? But Sir Alexander Fleming, Ernest B. Chain, and Sir Howard W. Florey were awarded the Nobel Prize in 1945 for discovering something which has made millions of people around the world feel better. What did they discover?
The aspirin.
The aspirin.
I disagree.
1945, no, the penicillin. Penicillin. You've got the X. All right, Judith, it's your turn. All righty. Paul, President Johnson had a personal butler in the White House. So did Presidents Kennedy and Nixon. Does Gerald Ford also have a butler?
Yes, he doubles as Secretary of Agriculture.
Poor Mr. Butts. But does Gerald Ford have a butler, President Ford?
He's in such good shape, he probably serves himself. We've always heard what good... a butler. I just don't get that image with him. I don't think he has a butler.
I agree.
He decided it was a needless luxury. No. Good for you, President Ford. Put a circle there. CJ. Oh, that's why I was rushing everybody through. This, by the way, would be worth $50 to Allison and a total of $200 in cash. That is our buzzer, meaning time is up. But you did choose a star. We can't finish the question. We all know, Paul, about the destruction caused by forest fires. But does anything good ever come out of a forest fire?
Ever had roast venison?
How many conservationists out there just fell right off their chairs? And we have a retired fire captain here. But does anything good ever come out of a forest fire?
Anything good come out of a forest fire?
Yes or no?
Boy, it's such a ridiculous question. Obviously the answer is no, but probably the answer is yes.
So?
Everything good come out of a forest fire. I can't believe it. I will say no.
I disagree.
They often destroy harmful insects.
How ridiculous.
That's fine.
That's a fact. Put a circle there. Now we're going to add up the scores.
trees. Paul Lynde.
Hi, Paul. Everything okay?
Uh-huh.
All righty. According to Coronet, do most men feel uneasy when with a woman who has an extremely large bust? In other words, do most men feel uneasy when they're around women with extremely large busts?
Yes, they run for cover. I think it's hard to talk. It's hard to look at their eyes. It's hard to do anything. Yes, I think they are.
He said yes.
They're uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable, most men with women.
I disagree.
Yeah, they are. Most men become upset and scared. I don't know why. We can't put an X there, Randy. You'll have to earn that yourself.
Paul Lynde.
All righty, for $250, does Mark Spitz believe swimming in the nude helps you go faster?
Well, it's easier to stare. I think any additional garment or anything would be, cause resistance.
I said yes.
I think it would be faster.
I agree.
No. In fact, he says swimming suits actually improve freedom of movement. I think they shave their arms and things, but not, no, they don't go nude. We put a circle there. You're back at it, Norma. All righty? According to the old song, I want to be happy, but I can't be happy until what?
Till Johnny comes marching home again.
I want to be happy, but I can't be happy until what?
You're happy too.
I'll agree.
Yeah, I make you happy too. Very good. It's your turn, Norma.
Dave Lynn.
Paul? President George Washington once said, quote, I would rather be in my grave than in what?
Grant's tomb.
I would rather be in my grave than in the what?
I don't know. I'll just try to make some kind of sense. I'll say most presidents truly hate war. I'll say I'd rather be in my grave than be in war.
In war.
I disagree.
No, I'd rather be in my grave than be president. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, that too.
Yeah, okay, with a circle. Randy?
I'll go for Paul Lynde.
I don't blame you. Paul, according to the World Book, what's the most important single thing you should do to take care of your skin?
Don't tell Jack Palance that you hate his dog commercials.
The most important thing to do to take care of your skin.
Jay.
What?
The most important thing, keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
That's an erase.
I'm going to disagree.
Yeah, you keep it clean. All righty. Put an X there. A break for you, Pat.
John Day.
Paul? Speaking of matrimony, Eddie Fisher recently said, marriage kills love. Marriage kills love. And love kills what?
20 minutes.
Eddie Fisher recently said marriage kills love and love kills...
Kills Taylor.
Marriage kills love, and
And love kills...
marriage.
Marriage.
Ah, wonderful. Ships in again.
No, I tell you what that is. That is our buzzer, ladies and gentlemen, and it's either worth $50 for Joanne or nothing for Pat. So, marriage kills love and love kills marriage. Joanne?
I'll agree.
No. Friendship. Friendship. Okay, we're going to add up the scores. We have 2 X's up there for you, Pat, and that means... The very first of the 10 Commandments says that you should not have what?
The hots.
The very first of the 10 Commandments says that you should not have... We just lost Ohio, by the way, Paul. With that. Yeah.
I said hats.
Oh, yes. Hats, right.
First commandment. Honor thy father and mother.
Bill?
Thou shalt not have strange gods before thee. I
Other gods,
disagree.
right, yes. Thou shalt not have other gods before me. Yes, Bill, you know, you've got the X, and Rita, it's your turn.
Paul Lynde.
All right. Paul, this is for $500. According to New Dawn magazine, is it uncommon for women to talk to themselves while romancing?
I don't even have a bluff.
It's yes or no, Paul. I mean, is it uncommon? Is it uncommon for women to talk to themselves while romancing?
If they're enjoying it, I hope they do.
He said, no, it's not uncommon.
I agree.
Both men and women do it. Yeah, sure they do it. Okay, you've got the X, $500. Just over. According to the Pittsburgh Press, Kate Smith did something on her 23rd birthday that had a lasting effect on her life in show business. What did she do?
Well, good American that she is, she ate 412 apple pies.
What did Kate Smith do on her 23rd birthday that had a lasting effect on her life in show business?
I think she probably recorded her favorite song, what was that?
Oh, you say her favorite song, When the Moon Comes Over the Mountain?
That's right. Yes.
I think she sang.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
No. She made her debut on radio, May 1st, 1931. Yes, her debut. Now, let me explain. So, the Secret Square up there, it's worth $5,500. The Secret Square is not Paul Lynde. Are you a gambling man?
I'll take Paul Lynde.
All right, for $250, Paul. Do we get any heat from stars? Do we get any heat from stars?
You will if I have to share my dressing room again.
Who are you sharing it with, Paul?
Big Bird and Oscar.
That's right, you did, yes.
I think it's so many miles away. You mean, as human beings, do we get any heat from stars?
Yeah, any heat from stars. From the stars. Do we get...
I don't think so.
He says no.
I disagree.
We don't get much, but a little. Yes, X gets the square, $250. Ron Snyder. Who is the Secret Square?
Block.